Welcome to the Stoppage Time edition of the Pitch to Pro podcast. This is a highlight reel of some of the best moments from the show so far, and every other week we will be bringing you a special 5 to 7 minute segment featuring the best stories, tales, and moments of the podcast.
Yeah, I don't know many women my age who watch soccer. I think I'm a rarity in my area. My hometown, which is a little town, it's me and my dad. Like, that's all I know about soccer fans. So it is trying to get the community or women to feel like, hey, this is for me. I can watch this sport.
And it's different across the country. It's very different. What we experience in Arkansas, we're very lucky in our little pocket of Arkansas where we've got quite a lot of soccer opportunities now. It wasn't always that way for the girls. We've had, one of the things I think to talk about with the education side is we had points over the last 5 years where we couldn't form an age group team for the girls. And that makes things really difficult. And that's adding to the attrition rate and the dropout rate before they get to junior high. Because if they're having to scrape around, trying to find girls from other teams, combining age groups, that's hard. They're going to start getting despondent and then not want to play. So I feel, education and just getting more interest in the game that's as important as the sexist side.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Falling in love with the game.
Yeah.
That's what we want. We want them to love it as much as we do. And so, yeah, getting more ambassadors across the country, and also, people willing to help with all the wheels and cogs in the background. Yeah. There's a lot. And so,
there is.
Yeah, hoping for visibility and more like-minded people out there to really get this message and hit the grassroots teams, make these girls feel valued.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you started talking about it a little bit, but as you look forward, there's so much to chew off and chew on, I should say, you bite off more than you chew, whatever the saying is, but there's so much to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And at some level, that's a little bit disheartening, but also speaks to the need to the work.
Mm-hmm.
And on the positive side, the opportunities of completing that work and bringing the culture and the populace to a better place collectively.
Yeah.
But what are you guys looking for? What's next? What's on the immediate horizon for you guys?
So in 2025, we actually had our meeting with our high level people and a few of our ambassadors who happen to get on the call. And our goal for 2025 is going to be education. Because we believe that's where it starts. We've got to start educating and try to get into the schools and get the young ones. And it's not just educating the girls, it's educating the boys as well, educating them that this game is for everyone. Because a little side note story, but it's relevant, is a 8-year-old girl was told by an 8-year-old boy that she wasn't allowed to play the game. Now, that should not happen at that age. And that's where education is going to come in, not, like I said, not just for the girls, for the boys to realize this is for everybody. So that's our number one focus is education. I think the number 2 focus is getting that funding. However, we may need to get that. Next couple months, we're going to be having a funding page right on our website so people can fund to write to us, and then we can help the grassroots, because that's where it starts. That's where the kid falls in love with the game, and just for the love of the game and not anything else. So that's what we mainly talked about, was those 2 things: grassroots, education.
And then I think thirdly on that is more, this podcast, for example, getting visibility out there, to hoping that some of these clubs will see and they'll want to stand alongside us. So a partnership, we have a club partnership packet that we can get out. We can talk to club owners and explain to them what that means for the club to stand by her game too and be aligned with us.
Yeah.
And so it costs no money to be
it costs no money. It's as expensive or cheap as the club wants it to, as you want it to be. So it's manageable for a grassroots club, it's manageable for a rec league, it's manageable for a state association, a USL team, it doesn't matter. An academy. You can buy stuff to use. You don't have to. But just having a girls team being able to have our badge, the Her Game 2 patch on their jerseys, have dedicated fixtures for their games. When a club aligns with Her Game 2, it's important, and it starts at those grassroots ages.
And I think, and you guys would be able to speak more to this too. And you'll probably just say, yes, there's so much to do, and that's one of them, is more female coaches and opportunities.
Absolutely.
For female coaches.
When there are coaches, they're not questioned about their coaching ability because of their sex. Because they're, even in our video, if you've watched our video, one of them is, I don't want my child coached by a girl. That is one of the comments. So You're right. That is another.
Because I think too, and I think that this is a, in general, statement around coaching education in the youth game today, that there's so much opportunity there. And it's not necessarily because, people don't know what they're doing per se, and they want to just jump out there and help, and like, that's great. So bringing some level of consistency as to what are the main tenets of the game that we're trying to get across and do. But I think the other piece of it is when kids have a good experience with their coach, and that coach, it's much more for me, especially at the grassroots level, less about teaching the game the right way, but more around providing an environment where kids can fall in love with the game.
Yeah.
And they're much more likely to do that when they have a role model coach that is, oh, I see myself in that.
Yeah.
Right? Representation matters.
Yes.
So much. And so that is something just in general, but then even more important on the girls' side within the attrition and the participation rates and all of those things that I think you guys can be a big advocate for. And I know you are already, but one of the things that, again, as a father of daughters, I jumped in to help coach my daughter's team because there wasn't not enough coaches. And I was actually hoping that, not because I don't want to coach my daughter, but I was the opposite. I would have preferred for her to have an amazing female coach and have that for her and be that her experience. So.
Thank you for joining us for this Stoppage Time special of the Pitch to Pro podcast. If you've enjoyed the conversation, you can click watch the full episode here. Be sure to tune in next Thursday for a new episode of the Pitch to Pro podcast,
the official podcast of Ozark United FC.
available on YouTube, Instagram, and everywhere you get your podcasts.